So this is Hieromartyr Basil, Archbishop of Chernigov, and those with him. Archbishop Basil Bogoyavlensky was born on February 1st, 1867, into the family of a priest in Tambov Diocese. Brought up in strict church piety, Basil was filled from early childhood with love for the church and his earthly homeland, and for that reason, on attaining adulthood, he never had any hesitation in following in the steps of his father and devoting himself to the service of the church. In 1888, he finished his studies at Tambov Seminary, and in the same year was ordained to the diaconate. 2 years later, on March 11th, he was ordained to the priesthood and appointed to serve in the church of the village of Siansky, Kirsanvodsky Uyezd, Tambov province. I'm not even going to try to say those again. The incurable illness of his wife forced Father Basil to think of other conditions of service to the Holy Church. This is another thing that we see commonly with these saints, Despota, is that they were married with children and they were widowers. In 1896, he entered the Kazan Theological Academy, where he became friendly with the rector, Bishop Anthony Krapovitsky. Wow. In 1900, Father Basil graduated from the academy and accepted the suggestion of his Abba that he stay on to serve as a teacher there. After the death of his wife, Father Basil took the advice of Bishop Anthony and entered the Holy Trinity Alexander Nevsky Lavra, where on August 14, 1908, he was tonsured into monasticism. On October 15 of the same year, he was appointed rector of the Chernigov Theological Seminary with promotion to the rank of archimandrite. On July 26, 1909, or May 12, 1911, according to another source, he was consecrated Bishop of Samsk, a vicariate of the Kharkov Diocese in St. Petersburg. On March 4, 1911, he was transferred to the see of Novgorod-Seversk, a vicariate of the Chernigov Diocese, and on May 12th to the see of Chernigov and Nezin. Bishop Basil's period of service in Chernigov was marked by the successful completion of many projects. The construction of 2 large houses for pilgrims coming to venerate the relics of St. Theodosius and a sanatorium for the students at the seminary. The opening of the second women's school in the diocese with funds given from the state treasury by Tsar Nicholas, a large increase in the sphere of activity of the Orthodox Brotherhood of St. Michael, Prince of Chernigov, the publication of the journal Faith and Life by the same brotherhood in 1912, the creation in Chernigov of a Yedinovertsy deanery in whose administration was numbered 12 churches. Vladika also devoted much attention to charitable work, supporting the existing charitable institutions and organizing the collection of alms for the starving peasants of the eastern provinces during years of bad harvests. On July 6, 1916, he was appointed president of the publishing council attached to the Holy Synod. On October 5, 1916, in recognition of his services to the diocese, Vladika was raised to the rank of Archbishop of Chernigov and Nezin. On May 6/19, 1917, he was retired and was appointed administrator of the Nikolaevsky Terabensky Desert in Tver Diocese. From August 11 or 14, 1917, he was placed in charge of the Moscow Zakinospasky Monastery. In 1917, Vladika Basil was called to Moscow to participate in the Preconciliar Commission, which was preparing for the Council of the Russian Orthodox Church. When Archbishop Andronicus of Perm was killed by the Bolsheviks in 1918, the Moscow Church Council sent a special commission headed by Archbishop Basil, who had a high reputation as an administrator, to investigate the circumstances of the murder. The Soviet government consented to an investigation and even provided a private coach for the use of the commission. During the early days of the Soviet government, the Church Assembly addressed it several times with requests, declarations, and protests. But the activity of the investigating committee in Perm aroused the indignation of the communists, especially those who were guilty of the crime, and they took measures to conceal information from the Moscow Assembly. After concluding its investigation, the commission was on its way back when a band of Red soldiers broke into the coach between the towns of Perm and Vyatka. On May 6, 1919, according to one account, Archbishop Basil, Archimandrite Matthew, rector of the Perm Seminary, who who was called a bishop in one account, and a layman. All the members of the commission were killed, and their bodies thrown out of the moving train into the water from the Kama Bridge. They were buried by local peasants, but as their graves began to attract pilgrims and miracles were recorded, the communists dug up the bodies and burned them. According to another version, Archbishop Basil was arrested and after a short imprisonment was shot together with other members of the commission. And that's the end of this. It's a brief life. And did Your Grace have any thoughts to share?
I'd like to go back to our martyrdom of this time that we were speaking about. I was speaking what Anna and I were going back and forth about. We live in hard times for the church, where the few people, especially in Greece, because there was once the whole parish system before the matter of true orthodoxy, where so many fell into heresy. There was a church on every block, and now we're in many places without church. Even in Russia, there are people, like I've often referred to you, the community that might see a priest once a year, twice a year. We're all in difficult position today. We have from and waits for and his family, and some people farther out now than his immediate family. They wait for us to come and serve for them. We have together with us today where they're in a total desert concerning true orthodoxy, where they live in the Middle East. We're going to be on this difficult road. Whoever can make the jump and come close to a community in some way will be blessed for sure. And we continue to pray for Christ to send workers and for communities to be founded in different places, for people to be able to find the truth close to them. But we have to be prepared that we are in the last times, and these things are difficult.
Thank you so much, Despota. That is true what you said. Here, the Orthodox faith has become lukewarm and even cold, which makes me wonder, did all the blood of the martyrs went in vain? Why didn't their sacrifice make the Orthodox faith grow big in the community? And here, especially in the Middle East, Orthodoxy is becoming something more than just a simple tradition, or maybe something not important at all for the people here. So why did their sacrifice and why did their blood went in vain and didn't grow in the heart of the people?
A good observation. There's probably not many people on this group and who have lived the situation in the Middle East like I have. Certainly, the faith of the Orthodox in the Middle East, unfortunately, is for the most part being a member of a club. My father was Orthodox, so I'm Orthodox. This is this way. If we don't like the Orthodox priest in our village, we can always become Armenian Monophysites, we can become Syriacs, we can become, it's a difficult situation. The blood of the martyrs saved themselves and also saved the few who wanted to. You see, the blood of the martyrs did not bring back all the communists to Orthodoxy. Communism continued on for almost 100 years. 70 years, certainly, 70 plus. But they saved themselves and they saved many people around them. This is our martyrdom too. We are saving ourselves. It's very wrong, and it was my sermon on Sunday to think we're going to save the world. Who are you and who are I to save the world? We will try, though, to save as many souls as we can, and our feat of staying strong when everyone else is weak will bring some people to salvation. The social justice gospel of the Protestants and now the Papists have followed suit is a total spiritual deception. We are not going to bring social justice to the world. What does Christ tell us? The poor you will always have with you. There'll always be poor people. We will help them as much as we can, certainly. But we are not here to change the world. We're here to change ourselves. We're here to change the person we see in the mirror, first of all, and to bring that person as close as possible to salvation and to save other people around us. Our kingdom is not of this world. Christ says that the Lord of this world, or Archon tu cosmo tuto, the leader, the king, whatever you would have it, is the evil one. He's the one pulling strings in this world. We are not going to stop him. We're not going to stop the Antichrist, or the Antichrist in plural. We're too weak to do that. What we can do, though, is, as pointed out very beautifully, is stay within the ark and wait out the flood. And just as Noah and his sons did reach dry land again and started the world again, we will reach dry land of the heavenly kingdom. The martyrs, you see, had so much perseverance, even being dunked in ice water, as we read this and that, and they kept on that they would not reject the faith. Now we're being dipped in another kind of ice water, the ice water of worldliness, the ice water of fake orthodoxy. This is where our challenge is, and this is how we can save our souls in the end times.
Thank you so much, Vladika. They say in the gospel many are called, but few remains, or few stay in this road. Thank you so much.
God bless.
Despota, did you guys have any parting words for us this evening?
I think St. John of Kronstadt answered one of our questions that we had in our discussion tonight. God's grace given to us is the first step. We're all here where we are tonight because God has given us a little taste of his grace. From there on, it's in our hands to work with this little grace that we've been given to bring about our salvation.